exam is just on this chapter. At this point in time, I'm thinking it may be a computer test that you'll do from home using your book and your notes. So I'm thinking that's probably the way I'm going to go on that right now. So the main thing is to understand what you put where to calculate, be able to find the correct formula for the problem, and so you want to make sure you read it carefully. Now, in example 3, we have, it says, suppose that $5,000 is invested in an account that pays 6% interest compounded monthly. What is the effective annual yield? Well, what we have is we're given the rate, the nominal rate is 6%. It's compounded monthly, so M is 12. So we put in 1 plus, and that should be a 0.06. I hope I put a 0.06 in there when I divide it. We'll have to make sure. 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12 raised to the 12th power, which means that the, let me erase that because it jumped on me. So let's do the, again, do the calculations together. I'll go over the calculator. You want to do 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12, hit equals, and then raise it, again the caret key will do that, to the 12th, equals, and then subtract 1. So I'm getting 0.061677, so 168 would be correct. So that one is correct. Okay, so you do want to make sure you have a 0.06 here. All right, so that's what goes there. So if you want to compare two different accounts which are compounded, they have different rates and they have different number of times that they're compounded per year, the effective annual yield will give you a way to make that comparison. Now, the other type of compounding, it is also possible for interest to be compounded continuously, and that this particular calculation requires a use of the e to the x key on the calculator. E is what we call the natural exponential function, and it's something we study in pre-calculus and calculus, but you don't have to worry about that. Just know to use that key if you get a problem like this. I'm thinking most probably the textbook does not put those problems. It doesn't look like they have any examples. I kind of skimmed through the homework problems in the book and I didn't see any of these. But just in case, I have worked an example here. If $1,000 is deposited at 3% interest that is compounded continuously, what is the future value of the account in 5 years? So what we want to do is we're going to take our principal times E raised to the rate that's given times the time, in this case the time will be given in the number of years. So if we have $1,000, that's our principal, E to the time is 5 years, the rate is 0.03, so that's 3%. We get 1,000 times E, and I just go ahead and multiply out that exponent beforehand. So then you want to take, I believe I would do E to the 15th, and I've got to find my E to the X key. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I'm hitting that key to get E to the 0.15, and then I want to do times $1,000 and equals doesn't look, okay, I didn't close my parentheses, so make sure you close your parentheses. E to the 0.15, close my parentheses to indicate the exponent is finished, times $1,000. And so I get 1161.83. So $1,161.83. Okay, so I'm not sure that many of those will crop up, but in case you see one, I just wanted you to know that it's not that complicated. Just to make sure you use this key, the E to the X key, and I'm having trouble getting my highlighter to work. Make sure you use the E to the X key on your calculator. For some reason it's not working. Okay. Now next we have inflation. Periodic increase in the cost of living is called price inflation. The Bureau of Labor Statistics publishes Consumer Price Index figures annually, and they're called CPI. And on page 696 in the textbook, if you have it available, you can turn there. If not, you can look at it after you watch the video. We have the average CPI for each year from 1979 to the year 2009. And note that in 2009, the CPI was negative 0.4. This is called deflation. It means prices went down. And a period with minor deflation and an economic slowdown is called a recession. And I think most of us are familiar with that right now. All right, so how do we deal with inflation? What kind of problem do we have? Well, if we're given consumer product service that's subject to average inflation, the prices in two different years are related as follows. The price in year A over the price in year B is equal to the consumer price index in the first year over the consumer price index in the second year. And so here's an example of a problem. It says, suppose a desk is purchased in 2002 for $450. Assume that prices for the desk increased at the average annual rate shown in Table 4. So that's that table that we just looked at. Use the inflation proportion to find the price of the desk in 2009. So the price in 2002 goes on top. The table value for 2002, I have to go to that and look it up. It was 179.9. I don't know the table value for the year 2009. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know the desk price, rather. So I look at the table value for 2009. It's 214.5. Now, how do we solve this? Well, if you'll remember, this is one that we do with the cross products, and I'm having trouble getting my pen to work. All right, let's see if it's working now. Okay, it looks like it doesn't want to work. But what we're going to do is we're going to take 179 times X. Let me see if I can get in here and type. All right. Maybe I can do it with my finger. It's not going to stay. Oh, the 7 stayed. Okay, 179, and excuse my poor writing here. 0.9 times X equals, so what we're doing is I just did that product, and it's going to move away from me. Let's see if the pen will work maybe now. Yeah. Okay, so we're doing this, and then we want to do that product. So I want to take 450 times 214.5, and that gives me 96,525. 96,525. And so now I want to divide both sides by 179.9 so I can get X. Okay, so divide it by 179.9. And so I'm coming up with 536.55. So that would be the expected price of the desk in 2009, considering the inflation figures that we got from the table. So that's the type of problem you would do with that inflation proportion. Okay, so we've covered the basics here. I'm going to try to work a couple more examples from the written homework, or actually from the textbook before you go on to the online homework. So you may want to check those out before you go on to the online homework.